I like to give our praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to you hopeful elect brothers pushing this truth in all four corners of the earth. I like to start my lesson off with Sirach 6 and 32. And it reads, My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught. And if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. So you have to be taught. If thou wilt, thou shalt be taught. And if thou wilt apply thy mind, you have to apply your mind to learn. Because you got to start off as a babe in this truth. Anything you was ever taught, all them false doctrines, Muslims, atheists, Christian, and so on, you have to apply your mind. Thou shalt be prudent. If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding. So you would have to love to hear. You got to really be willing to be taught. Then you will receive understanding. And if thou bow thy ear, thou shalt be wise. Bow thy ear. I mean, you have to really get up in there and really be listening and really study. Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. And that's exactly what we do at Great Millstone. We stand in the multitude of the elders and the apostles on down, and we cleave on to him that is wise, because we believe that the elders are wise men through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Let me get this in 1 Timothy. This is 1 Timothy 5 and 17. Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honors, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. I'm going to just bring this back. Sirach chapter 6 verse 34. Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. Now I'm going to jump back over 1 Timothy 5 and 17. Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honors. That's why we always say double honors to the elders and the apostles, because they are counted worthy of ruling well and laboring in this doctrine, because they've been laboring, putting in work for 20, 30, damn near 40 years in this same doctrine and word. So let me go back to this Sirach. It reads, Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. So you have to be willing to hear every godly discourse. Everything in this Bible, everything that the elders and apostles on down teach us, the precepts, the right breakdowns for the right scriptures. Let not the parables of understanding escape thee. Don't fall out the truth. Don't get too high on your high horse to make you think you passing up the elders like some do. You learn from the elders, but then you get so high on your pedestal that you let the parables and understanding escape thee. And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee bedtimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. Basically meaning, if you want to learn from him, you got to tell him, you got to bug him. Same way you're supposed to bug Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Let thy mind be upon the ordinance of the Lord, and meditate continually in his commandments. He shall establish thine heart and give thee wisdom at thine own desire. Let your mind be upon the ordinances of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, and meditate continually in his commandments. Where do you find his commandments at? In the Bible. So you always have to meditate in these scriptures. He shall establish thine heart and give thee wisdom at thine own desire. So let's go to James 1 and 5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. So I'm going to jump back over to Sirach 6 and 37. Let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord, and meditate continually in his commandments. He shall establish thine heart and give thee wisdom at thine own desire. I'm going to jump back over to James 1 and 5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given to him. So you have to ask of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah, because he's the one that gives wisdom. I mean, it's simple. You got to link these scriptures up. 2 Timothy 3 and 12. Let me get the 2 Timothy. This is 2 Timothy 3 and 12. Yeah. And all that we, Shalakia, and all that will live godly in Amashiach Yahweh Shah shall suffer persecution. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. And all that will live godly, that's Israelites, talking about the elect, because 2/3 of our nation would not live godly. Shalakia. And Amashiach Yahweh Shah shall suffer persecution, because we get persecuted for the name of the Lord. We get persecuted for rebuking our people in the gates, because they hate those that rebuke in the gates. So real men of the Lord is going to suffer persecution. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived, because judgment against evil work is not executed speedily. That's why. Matter of fact, let me just get that. I think that's Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Shalakia. I think that's Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Yeah, it is. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of man is fully set in them to do evil. So, let me get this again. This is back in Timothy. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Now let's see why evil man and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Back in Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the heart of the sons of man is fully set in them to do evil. So that's why they heart wax worse and worse, because the Most High is not bringing judgment on them speedily and quick as possible. So they think because they keep hitting this nail after someone tell them not to, and don't nothing happen, that nothing's never gonna happen. We should go hit that nail, and they just setting you up for judgment, because they know you gonna come back and hit that nail. You gonna come back and hit that nail. So that's just more shit that's on your plate that you got to eat. You gonna have to drink of that cup. Yeah. 12 and 13. Plus 8 and 11. 3 and 14. Let me see. 3 and 14. This 3 and 14 talking about. Oh yeah. But what are we supposed to do? This is verse 14. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. We learned from our elders and apostles on down through the spirit of Yahweh, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned. I'm an Israelite. I learned these other nations. I learned that salvation is for the Jews. I learned that you other heathen nations is going into captivity under Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shah, from the house of David all the way down to the 2/3 on the other side. But 2 Timothy 2:15. Okay, this is 2:15 on that 2 Timothy, because this is what our apostles of great millstone drill in us. Study to show thyself approved unto God. So we're supposed to study to show ourselves approved, because how do you get showed approved? By studying. A workman that needeth not to be ashamed, because we working. This is Howard's business. The same way Howard Shah say, I must be about my father's business. This is our father's business. So we have to work. Rightfully dividing the word of truth. Rightly dividing the word of truth. Because you got Israelite camps and you got other religions. And religion go back to a Greek word, religio, means to bind or to hold back. So we got to study to show ourselves approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Because you could really lead people astray, and then that blood will be on your hands. So you got to really rightfully divide the word of truth. I don't know, I guess that's about it for now. So with that, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shah, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to you brothers and you hopeful elect. Keep pushing this truth. Shalom.